Alright, just gonna go over some markets. Alright, but before I go there, I wanted to just give a lesson, and the lesson is gonna be on climaxes and why they're important, and from a practical angle. So everyone knows that you have a trend down and up and down and up. Then eventually you get like a climax, right? So the idea here somewhere around here you'll have a high volume climax. So this is, everybody knows this, right? You're buying climax and selling climaxes, but what they don't understand though is, well, let me take a step back. The idea here is that the climax terminates the trend, or it tells you that the trend is very close to being terminated. Right? I mean, I'll give you an example right here. Right here this right here is the climax. So market started trending. Let's just take it from this high, right? It goes down, 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 bang, and you can see the price volume. What happens to it? Right here. This volume is the biggest in 16 waves. And then you have a change of behavior. And the rest right? So it goes up and all of that until it ends. So, the folks see this and say, okay, this is trending, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, bang. The trend gets terminated eventually with a climax. And then you have a little spring or shorting of thrust, and then it reverses and does that. Okay. Everybody knows this, right? Not everybody can detect it on chart, but you need to develop that ability. Where am I? Oh yeah. Here's an even better example. Here. Never mind. But something. I'd have to take a look at this. I don't think it's as clear as it could be here. Maybe up here. Yeah, I mean, this you could consider counter trend right here. Up, down, up, 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 and bang right here. That's the biggest volume right there. This, I think maybe this is a better example of this uptrend. And then this 41 sticking out. Right? Right there with that blue. See, there's 15, 10, 17, 15, and then bang, 41. So why 41 up here? Why? Because it's terminating the trend. Right? And then 10, 9, ding, 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 20, 24 terminates the trend. This counter trend terminated. So anyway, I don't want to get into all of that. The point that I really wanted to drive home is, yes, we know, everyone knows that climax terminate trends. I just showed you examples. I can show you examples intraday, on the daily, on the SPY, no problem. Right, it happens but there is a lot of skill that's required, because just because it's high volume doesn't mean it's a climax. It could be a high volume breakout. Or if it's at the end of a trend and you see all that heavy volume, it could still be a high volume breakout on a higher time frame, but it looks like a climax on a lower time frame. So that's the skill that's required, and the confirmation of a low volume test followed by a change of behavior, followed by a higher low pullback, then the higher high confirmation, etc., etc. So that's the trend turning point. But what folks don't realize, which is so, in my opinion, for trading is even more important, is the concept of the minor climaxes relative to the time frame you're trading and their application in pullbacks. What do I mean? So over here I explained to you that right here is a climax, right? What is not understood by many folks is that how to buy pullbacks. So on the pullback you have minor climaxes. So on this pullback you'll have, not all the time, but you'll have minor climax on the pullback. So if you're trying to buy a pullback, what do? Do you just draw Fibonacci and say, oh yeah, it's going to come to the 61.8, I should get in? Or, oh yeah, I should just get in at the 50% retracement? Is that the right way? Or, oh yeah, this is just halfway back, let me go long or short? So, you know, the way it's supposed to be done, even though there's a lot of conflicting information, even in the Wyckoff, later on, the works that were later on done by others saying, you know, just buy halfway back, they're not focusing on the original work, which says to look for the minor climaxes. All right. So the climax ends the trend, but notice that the pullback is ended also by a climax. In fact, even the rallies are ended by minor climaxes. Climaxes end not just trends, but also pivots or turning points. All right, that's very important, and that's why you have to be able to detect them. So I'll just go through this and show. Okay, where was I? The hell was I writing? I'll give you a very clean example. Oh man, I messed up. You see these bricks? Now why am I looking at the volume in them? I'm looking at the volume in them because I want to see high volume bricks, which can be high volume breakouts, they can be high volume effort, and it can be high volume minor climaxes. It can also be volume off the bottom and all of that. But this is one example of a minor climax. You see this very clearly. Look at this, 11. This is 11,000, by the way. 11,000, 19,000, 20,000, 20,000. Oh, look at this. Volume increased by about 50% of the prior bricks. It went from 20 to 30. You know why? Because this ledge, this pivot here. Then 16,000, then 32,000 on the reversal that goes to the low and then goes up. And this volume is the biggest volume in 100 bricks. So on this pullback, this brick that goes low and then comes up, this can be considered, you can consider it a minor climax because it hit the low and then it came up. So why is this important? Because this is your buy signal for pullbacks. Again, this is your buy signal for pullbacks. So I will go through some examples. This one is not very obvious, but you see this green little spike here? The spike in volume? It's the biggest volume in 16 up bricks. So as it's pulling back, it reverses, hits the low and comes up. So what does that mean? It means that it found buyers, it found demand. The volume itself is demand. So when I'm saying climaxes, I don't want you to think of just some behavior. But what's meant by climaxes is actually a form of accumulation. It's actually a form of demand or supply, depending on whether it's a buying or selling climax. For example, when you have capitulation and one side gets out, the volume goes up and the other side basically is buying at the best prices near the lows. This is what's going on here at a smaller level. Why? You have here 3, then you have 12, which is high, relatively speaking, right? Selling pressure. But then it dips to 1 and 1 and 4. And then all of a sudden you have 6 on the reversal. So you go from 1, 1 to 4, which is greater than the prior 2 bricks, to 6, which is greater than prior 3 bricks. So relatively speaking to the pullback, the 6 here is the biggest volume in about 16 bricks. And look what happens afterwards. It goes up. So this represents your buy because it's climaxing, but in a very small level. I would be able to see it even more clearer if I went to a lower brick size or a lower time frame. You would see it as a wave, you know? So anyway, where was I? We'll take a look at some other obvious examples relative to pullbacks. So let's say this is the breakdown. Now the market pulls back to a level and you have your climactic action right up there. You see the red spike? That's the biggest volume in 100 bricks right there, and that's your buying climax. Goes up and then you have the heavy volume that's terminating the pullback relative to this down move, coming back and terminating the pullback. And you see this all the time. So I'll give another example here. And in a lower, it's a minor example, but you see this pullback, you have 1 red bar, 2 red bar, 3 red bar, then the 4th red bar. So it goes from 2 and 1 to 0. So it's decreasing, 2, 1, 0, all of a sudden 4. Oh, okay, what's going on here? How is it that 2, 1, and 0 went up all the way to 4? To 4,000 against this area. This is the biggest down volume in 22 red bricks. That is your minor climax. We'll try this here. And it's not always very clear, like, you know, so. See, this not clear. This abundantly clear. This also pretty clear. You see it's going down, 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 and then all of a sudden goes up to 9. Why is that? Which is the biggest volume in 11 bricks. Because it is a climax. Right there. A minor climax. Here, it's not really that visible, but that's actually the biggest volume in 8 bricks. So again, you see again and again at the turning point, yeah, boom, higher, 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 ding, 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 boom, right there. Biggest volume in 8 bricks. So this is not really clear. This is not even a big pullback, but so I mean it's not always going to be clear, but you can quantify, which is really nice. So when you have, I have to find a rally, like you have to find a freaking rally. I need a rally, then I need a pullback. So against this area, it's not really that big. You know, right here, you see this? What if I told you that, okay, if you see this rally and you see this action, right? Over here, you have the biggest volume in 10 bricks. And that marked the low. Right here. I can move whatever. Right here is the biggest in 10 and then 11 bricks. This is your minor climax. Now again, okay, this is very clean. You rally, pull back. You know how big this is? Biggest volume in the last 10 bricks. Look what happens. It goes up. So this I can't really tell, but it's the biggest volume is 6 bricks. There it is. You see, even here, you see this rally, pull back, you know, this pull back up, pull back here. You know what? How big this is? Biggest volume in the last 12 bricks. Look what happens. Pull back, boom. So here I told you guys already it's the biggest volume in 5 bricks. This here also looked good. This one's pretty big. Like over here, at this levels, they look really nice. Over here, it was the biggest volume in 51 bricks, but I guess they wanted to shake out and do a stop run. So, I mean, that's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. So here it looked very constructive because you have climactic minor climaxes, and it goes up and it has fall through. But these guys pushed it down, I think purposely to take out these stops. Because look what it did. It just tapped that area, and all of a sudden you have buyers step in. They step in and they rally. But this, I would consider this a minor climax, forgetting of whether it worked or not. You know. And, comes back down. 11, boom, right there. What is it? Biggest volume in 5 bricks, nothing spectacular, and then it rallies. Let's see what this is. And it's not clear, but biggest volume in about 4 bricks. So yeah, it's important to use this as a filter, you know, because here's the point that I'm trying to make. You have a rally, you have a pullback. What are you trying to do? You're trying to see is during this pullback if there are buyers, right? So it's going to go down until buyers step in. So those buyers, they will step in at the good prices in order to reverse the move, right? So this is why during pullbacks you want to see, okay, how much volume came in, because it's not really the volume that you care about, it's the meaning of the volume, and the meaning of the volume is that there are buyers buying. They're smart money, or whatever you want to call it, they are buying, and that buying, chances are, will stop the move down and cause demand, and is demand, and will cause the market to go back up. So for example here, you know, what do you get? It goes down here. Look at it, it's very clear. On this pullback right here, you have the biggest volume in 10 bricks. So what does that mean? That means as the pullback was occurring, demand or buyers stepped in and they're buying and they pushed it up. So now you can continue up because why? Demand overcame supply. Demand is still there. Demand is strong. Strong enough to do what? Turn the market. And then you can forecast that the chances are that it'll either go to resistance or break out above the high. And you see this again and again on almost every pivot. Ding, 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 boom. Right there, the biggest volume 3. But really it's the bar after which shows the biggest volume 16 bricks. That's the error. You know, I mean, this 3 is okay, biggest volume 3 bricks, but it's not overwhelming to me. Here, this one definitely is, biggest in 16 bricks. That's bigger than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Almost the entire pullback and almost the entire rally. So this is just anyway, you see in this same shit over again. Right here, this rally, pullback, hits the high, climaxes, biggest down volume in 37 bricks, biggest volume in 46 bricks. This is your minor climax. It's going to go down. It's going to go down. The others, I don't think they're very clear. Even this rally, this one here, at the time was the biggest volume in 16 bricks. It's going to go down. The volume is high enough for the reversal. This is not that clear. It looks like 0, but this has more volume than the last 23 down bricks. So it's a no-brainer. This right here, this reversal is the biggest up volume in 52 bricks. Goes up. I mean, it's not a lot of movement, but whatever. You see this around the pivots. Right here, biggest volume in 27 bricks. What happens? Reversal. What happens? Follow through. It's going up. Unclear. 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 Here, it's only biggest volume in 3 bricks. You can't really tell anything. Biggest volume in 19 bricks, right there. 19 down bricks. Right here. This is its ending right here. It's the biggest volume in 22 up bricks. It does a little spring of that area, so you just have to be ready for that. But this is the climax, and I guess the rest is a spring or a test or whatever. But right there. Here again, rally, test, boom, right there, 6 bricks. That's not very clear with 6 bricks, but whatever. Here is only 2. Nah, wouldn't take that. Alright, so long story short is that really what you want to take away from this, climaxes represent ending action, right? Everyone knows that, ending action. But what do they end? They end trends or the move is about to end. Sometimes, you know, you have a climax, but it's going to continue to go a little bit further and then reverse. Still, climax represent ending action, they end trends and pullbacks. In fact, they can end rallies as well all the time. I'll show you a very clear example. This rally here ended right here. That's your climax, fine climax. 15 bricks, biggest volume 15 bricks. Here, not that clear, but you'll see that they basically they represent ending action. So being able to understand that is advantageous, to say the least. All right. Have a good rest of the weekend. Bye.